Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
And welcome back, everybody. He gives a lot of insight, helps us figure out some things that are going on in our lives and kind of put the pieces together as a healer, intuitive. He's a life coach, hypnotherapist, acupuncturist, and honestly, I'm not sure what we're talking about today. Usually he gives me an idea of the direction we're going in, and that's perfectly fine because I'm a firm believer in whatever comes up is going to come up because it's supposed to. Chris Distefano is back with us. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Steve. How are you?
Good, good. Before we jumped on here, like literally seconds before, we were talking about our plans, weekend, things like that, and I shared that I'm planning to go skydiving with my son this weekend, tandem. Never did it before. And it's, I guess, a leap of faith, no pun intended. Just changing it up a little bit. And you were like, let's talk about that. So what comes up for you in that plan for the weekend?
Well, a whole lot of stuff. I took my sister for her graduation from New Paltz. I took her skydiving up there. So we both went out and it was great. I told the guy, you're probably going to have to push me out of the plane. And he did. And it's amazing because it's so loud. And you don't feel like you're falling. Because imagine you're throwing a stone. The stone is going horizontally and then it shifts its momentum to vertically. So there's no acceleration. It's just a lot. And then the chute opens and everything goes dead quiet and it's peace. I thought I'd like the free, and I was spinning and doing all that. I give a thumbs up to it, spin to either side and had a great time. The free fall, because this was New Paltz and it was like springtime and it was gorgeous. The free fall and then the opening of the chute was just beautiful piece. So I'm really excited for you.
Thank you.
And it is a leap of faith.
Everything you're saying is what I envision. The spinning thing, I'm not a fan of spinning, so I don't know if that can be controlled not to. Some tell me yes, some tell me no.
Oh, totally. That was because I was asking. I'm like, bring it, baby.
No, thanks. But you know what's? I was going to do this last year. Let me rewind. Mm-hmm. I got a gift certificate for my birthday from a close friend 3 years ago and never used it.
Yeah.
I guess I had mentioned it in conversation, and then that's why they bought it. And I kind of put it off. Last year, put it off as well. Kind of loosely planned it with my son because he was old enough to do it then. Got to be 18. And honestly, I kind of put it off. Maybe I got cold feet, whatever it is. This year is different. I'm not even concerned. I don't know what it is. And I went to an amusement park, a local one here where I am, not like, Six Flags, and, but, I had some rides there that, move you around. I feel I would rather jump out of a plane than be on one of those rides. And I'm trying to process it. It's almost as if I've had, not that I'm a control freak, but there's just more of a control as opposed to being on a ride where you're enclosed. You're at the mercy of, the mechanics and all of that. I don't understand why I'm thinking that way, and maybe when, push comes to shove and I'm on the plane, I might be the same. You're going to push me out. But I don't know. I'm seeing it in a different way. It's like I'm relatively calm about the whole thing. And honestly, I was supposed to jump last weekend and my son texted me last minute. He's like, I have a cold. I'm like, well, we can't do this then. Your sinuses have to be clear. From what I understand.
They'll clear up.
Yeah, he should be fine.
No, they'll clear up. Like you jump. That's a funny thing. When I went out of the plane, they say breathe through your nose. They mean it. Because the first thing I did, obviously, I just got pushed out of a plane. I'm like, and I couldn't breathe.
Really?
Mm-hmm. You have to breathe through your nose. So I promise his sinus would have opened. They would have, physiologically, it would have forced itself open so he could function. It would, this is a better weekend since he's doing better.
Yeah.
No, it's wild. So what is it? You have done, and I, know you about as well from my interviews as the audience does. from you interviewing me, but there's been a great transformation this year. You're coming so much more into your peace, your wholeness, your self-love, your self-acceptance, your trust of the world.
This is true.
So you're taking the guardrails off because you understand reality itself is bubble wrapped, as I would say. You understand that this is an interactive reality, and you're willing to put your trust further into it. As that's my interpretation. I could be completely wrong.
I agree with you. However, the word trust, I'm very careful about that now. Even in the last 6 months, you know, I'm a handshaker. We shake, and to me, it's sealed. I've had a couple little things pop up here and there, which, you know, you got to get it in writing, unfortunately. Nothing bad, but it's just like, you know, different direction, views of different things. I may view something different than somebody that I'm working with, connected to, whatever it may be. But in terms of the trust, jumping out of a plane, I guess I'm putting my trust in the instructor who's in tandem, trust in the chute opening, trust in the backup chute if needed. Yeah, like I don't know. I guess definitely a different mindset.
So I'm going to totally diverge. Yesterday, I was in my office and I was working with a patient. He comes in, he has back pain. And usually what ends up happening is my days are thematic and the themes just keep happening. Now, one of the big themes is self-determination or choice. And that's a paradox. And I've really leaned heavily that we do not have free will in the conventional sense of choice. 99.9% of stuff is run on autopilot. Even me talking, me moving my hands, it's all autopilot. They're conditioned habits that are programmed into us. We do have the power of intent to shift the program to run a different script in the body, of the body, in our reality, etc. So this guy comes in, he has back pain. He's started, because we talked about it, he started using his standing desk more. And I'm like, that's brilliant. You're reconditioning patterns that are going to rehabituate your body to release the back. And that's the truth, because now he's keeping the muscles more stretched, etc. He's also taking active movement for his health. But the coolest part was the song that was on at that moment was saying the patterns, they control your mind. The patterns take away my time, because the world is always present and it is also another player. So this is, on a certain level, it's faith in something bigger than the instructor, faith in what I call the board. The board is the most important player. The board conducts, it coordinates.
How do you define?
That's why you meet the right person at the right time.
How do you define that board?
People call it God.
Okay.
That's how you meet the right person at the right time. That's how the lyrics to the song come on precisely at the perfect time for me, because that's one of my resonances. That's our reality. You see, this is, everyone says, oh, I believe in a higher power. I believe in the universe. I believe in my guardian angel. But when push comes to shove, no one can say what they are. What I'm saying what they are in reality transurfing is called external intent. What I'm saying that they are is our reality reflects back to us what we are. So if we have that faith, that trust, it reflects it back to us. If we're going around in distrust, hate, scarcity, all that stuff, guess what we're going to have? It's going to give us what we ask for. And you have come into a higher place of peace, love, coordination with your world. And your world is giving it back. And it's an infinity mirror. It keeps going back and forth. And even your stuff that you're saying, oh, you know, this went south or that went south and I have less trust, blah, blah, blah. Those are called lessons because you're still fine and whole through that.
Sure.
Now you've learned there are certain people of certain consciousnesses. We need to have it a little bit more formal. Because I'm a freewheeling guy. And sometimes I get burned.
Same. I'm not going to say burn, but, you know, just not you're on a path, other people on a path. I'm finding more and more, Chris, that adhering to these principles, things present and you see them in a different light. Example, and I want to share this with you, and I want your thoughts on this. I really do. Had a little flood here in this studio. We happen to have a sink like over in the corner. It's convenient, whatever. And I'm going to laser this down, but the sink was on and I was watering, planning to water some plants, including one from my mother's funeral 6 years ago. I saved it. It means a lot to me. It's over there. Sink started overflowing. Not a lot of damage, but needed to be extracted. Restoration company made a mark. A week ago, the water fountain in the hallway somehow got engaged on. Water was flowing for quite a number of hours. It stopped at my door, just before my door here, and it affected other areas substantially. That was a big one, like when you walk. So they come in to mitigate the issue in my area, and they go to plug in the fans to get it done, and it's not working. Circuit breaker blows. They left. I'm like, now what do I do? Blows again. I got to go down the hallway, open a door with a key, reset it. Blows again. I'm like, all right. I took some power strips and made an extension cord to another outlet, but then I realized, wait a minute, the circuit that was blowing, that was plugged into that was a small refrigerator that my mother gave me 16 years ago. I mean, it meant a lot for her to give that to me. On top of that refrigerator is that plant. I'm convinced that she's trying to tell me something in terms of the water and the meaning. You talk about music. I'm out over the weekend seeing a Stone Temple Pilot tribute band. They're playing a bunch of songs. One of them is by Collective Soul. I totally forgot about it. And just the guitar is amazing. Not even listening to the lyrics. I'm like, that's a great song. And now I'm playing it on the way home. I'm playing it the last couple of days. And all of a sudden, bing, light bulb goes off. The song is called Where the River Flows. I don't think it's a coincidence that that song is resonating. I'm not even really listening to the lyrics, although let's be honest, you are listening to the lyrics. I'm listening. The guitar is amazing. And I looked it up. The song is about a personal journey or life's flow, and the lyrics encourage letting life take its course, metaphorically represented by a river, i.e. water. That's what I'm piecing together today.
Beautiful. So
what do you think?
You ask my opinion. My opinion is very simple.
Please.
There's an area of your life that you're still holding a high level of resistance in. You're aware of what it is, but it's not readily apparent to you. It's almost a background feeling. There's also a holding most likely in your body, and most likely this is a long-term thing. It's almost like my claustrophobia that I'm like, yeah, I trust the world, except for small spaces. Those are an exception. So it's like high-level nonsense that I because it's like in a dream where being chased by a purple elephant on roller skates seems totally like it makes sense because we fool ourselves. That's what you're holding on to right now. And it may not even be that big, but when you let it go, it's like when I release muscles on people. If it's a person that's really a good candidate, it's a uncomfortable feeling when I put the needle into the tight muscle because the muscle contracts and then relaxes. But then they have relief from an area they didn't even know they had pain. You know what I'm saying?
I do. And quite honestly, and I have a feeling of certain things that might be what you're referring to.
I'd actually go so far, since it is repeatedly your mother, it could be a pattern she put in you that she most likely is like, maybe that wasn't the best thing. I would like to be able to help with that.
I never considered that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. Okay.
And, you know, some of this, I'm just going out there on a limb. I may be completely wrong. It's been known to happen. But it's fun to play with.
But absolutely. But I and having done a past life regression about 8 weeks ago and seeing, patterns, generational, blah, 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 on and on and on. Interesting way to look at it. Whether you believe or feel what I'm feeling, that, and my mom sends me signals all the time and they're very specific. And I don't care what anybody says. Kick some rocks. I don't care. And that's how I feel. And I'm skeptical. I need specifics. This one's just a little too weird. How it, it's like she was trying. Here's your attention. Oh, I'm going to blow the breakers. It's a refrigerator game.
That's why I'm going deep.
Sure.
Because the other stuff is superficial. You can see it. This is something you identify as part of you. You can't see it.
And even that song, I went to go see that tribute band last minute. It was I was on my way home, knew somebody that was at the venue, little local place in town. And I was like, turn a car. What the heck? Late, but I want to check it out. And the following morning, so that was Saturday night, following morning, I was like depleted. Like, I don't know why. I woke up and I just was real heavy. I just didn't want to do anything. Usually if I'm going to relax, I'm going to read or something. I was like, I'm just laying here. And I actually got clarity on a couple of different things. And I believe one of them is what you're referring to.
That's fantastic.
Really made it.
How cool is that?
Because I'm aware of it now. I'm looking, and I'm not looking for it. I'm just looking. My eyes are open,
So does it make sense when I say the board is a player? Do you see how the board is the player?
Redefine that.
So you're calling the board your mother. What I'm saying is the outside world is an intelligence. It's not dumb. Let me reframe it again. Something triggered the water going. Something triggered the circuit breaking. Something triggered you taking that move to go to the concert. All the coincidences, the conductor, meaning now take this. Whole outside world is not billiard balls smacking together dumb physics, Newtonian model. This is a super high level intelligence that we can't see. It's made of the same fabric as us. Now, you may not fully buy what I'm saying, but when you start taking outside coincidences and stacking them, it's undeniable.
That's my point. Something. That's my point. The
board is a player, and it's the most important player in the game.
And I look at it as puzzle pieces, and this piece goes to this piece, and then why did that happen? Oh, because that piece is supposed to fit into that piece, and then that other piece, the song, I'll put that right over there to whatever the finished puzzle is going to be, and I guess that's our job to figure out.
Or not, or to just let go and to become more and more into the unlimited beings that we are, which ties into it. The resistance to what is the pain. The resistance so my resistance, let's say I don't like where I am at the moment, and I fight that. Now I'm causing myself pain. If I accept where I am and I'm like, I'd prefer to be, and I work towards it, I'm relieving the pain and I'm present and acceptance. I'm not in a state of untruth. So it's a really, I know I'm going out there. I try hard not to. I'm working on it.
But I'm on your page though. Like I really am.
I know.
And you run 50 million layers deeper. But then I talked to somebody who is a friend and very intuitive by profession yesterday, and shared that occurrences with them, and they said, and they're very familiar with every part of my life. They've been aware of every piece of the journey, and they said, "That's your mom's way of telling you, find some water. You need to, you need to go to water." Maybe you need to move near water. Your mom is telling you, go to the water. I'm like, okay, maybe that's it. I don't know. You look at my vision board. What do we got? Water and a house.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe there's validation there, maybe continue manifesting that. I don't rule anything out.
Like, it might actually be the same thing, Steve.
Say that again.
This is the same thing. What your friend said and what I'm saying are the same thing. It's two facets to a gem. It's describing the elephant as the trunk and the foot.
Sure.
So your vision board has you at water. You have your desire. What happens once our consciousness is fully aligned with something, it's that there's a bit of a time delay which varies depending on factors. and the factors are whatever. I'm not going there. But they also vary depending on resistance. The resistance is the part that's holding on to why you're not. The part that's like, I'm not near water because I don't want to let go of this, or I don't want to, or I don't really see myself realistically. There's an objection that's being held, and that's a pattern. Now, I'm not saying always. Again, I go out there.
Sure.
But that's what I would look at. I would dive into what's the pattern that makes it not real for you? What's the pattern? Because most people in the manifesting world, and this goes back to how I'm wired, most people in the manifesting world, and this works for most people, sort of. It apparently works for most people. I got to tell you, most of the stuff I manifested was backwards, and there's reasons for that. And I learned a lot.
Well,
most people.
Okay, so I was doing the same exact thing, and all the things that I was thinking wasn't intentionally manifesting. You know, they all came true.
Well, I was in a state of depression, so I tended to push the wrong things. Belief systems. So one of the biggest things for manifesting is, see, the problem with a lot of manifestation is if people don't clear themselves, and like I said, you've done, from what I can tell, great work this year. If people don't clear themselves, let's say I want to manifest money, and I'm pretty good at manifesting because I'm able to put that vibration on. But if at the core underneath, I'm still holding on to the vibrations of scarcity and not worthiness, then I'll get the money because I'm really good at manifesting. But I'm also manifesting from an unsteady place. I'll get the money by losing my closest loved one. You see, because there's the give and take when we don't view ourselves as worthy. As we begin to love ourselves more, the manifestations can become cleaner and cleaner. So a lot of times for me, I had conflict, so I would get the opposite, or I would get nothing to protect me from getting the negative that would come with the positive.
Totally got that. And, you know, Monday, I had a Reiki session, energy clearing, all of it was already scheduled. How funny is that? Coincidence? Not. Without a doubt, everything you're saying, I would never discount. It's all part of it. Like, I would never say, well, would you just sit there? No, that I'm not believing that part, but I'm going to believe all of this over here. I'm wide open. It's like, oh, interesting thought. I never think of that. Maybe that's the case. I'm completely accepting of any situation and scenario, and whatever they will be will fall into place. And I'm confident of that. I have faith in that. And I appreciate your viewpoints on all of it. I think it's like really cool. Like, and things that I don't think of, you bring up and present about the Borg and how, you know, everything is at play here. It's you have to get to a point where you see it. And I know this is woo for some, you know, it's but once you open the door and start filtering out all the chatter and all that stuff around you and start seeing some of this stuff and the synergy and there's not. Somebody said to me yesterday that they don't believe so much in coincidences, that they believe it happens for a reason. Then others will say, nah, not everything happens for a reason. There's some bad things that happen out there, and it can't be. Final question. What are your thoughts on that? Things happen for a reason.
So, final thoughts on that is the board is a player. Things happen with purpose. Different word than reason. And it's higher level than what we're capable of comprehending through conventional consciousness. Now, this is, am I smarter than the intelligence that created me? I see patterns, but my data set is incomplete. So, yes, sometimes things happen to help us get the discernment of filtering noise, filtering the wheat from the chaff. Other times, there is no good and bad, because those things we call bad, you don't know you can swim till someone kicks you in the water. So, we don't know what our metal is until we've been through, my element is fire, so been through the fire. And I was talking to some real high level people the other day. A lot of people at a real high level have been through absolute unthinkables, because the level of clearing that results in the high level ethics that get developed enables the consciousness to function more in synchrony with the outside world, more in harmony with other people too. Like my relationships with people, I meet people. I used to be like real a little standoffish and guarded. I just love everyone now. Not like hippie way either. I just like meet people. I sell or buy things on Facebook. I'm like, these are the most awesome people. Everyone I meet is a freaking incredible human being.
In their way.
I never saw that before. It's not them that changed. It's me.
I totally got you. And that was my mantra, and I still ride by it. Love everyone, trust few, always do the right thing for all. And to love everyone, you can. There's no, you should. We're out of time. Thank you for interesting view of things today. Synchronicity.
Yeah. And as our vibration goes up, we see it more and more. It's a feedback loop of positive that builds on itself.
You mentioned those people, high level thinkers and all of that, have been through some hellacious things you shared.
Yes.
Is it sort of like they climbed a mountain? It wasn't easy. There's wind, storm, snow. They got through things. They climbed the mountain. Then they got to an elevation where now they're seeing so many wonderful things. They're meeting people up on the mountain. They got past all the clouds, and now it's different. Now they may go through some more things to get to the higher part of the mountain. They're seeing so much more in their view in the horizon, and there's other really cool people up there. Do you kind of view it like that?
I kind of view it like it burns off so I can ascend only so far if I'm holding bad beliefs, if I'm holding negative, if I'm holding hate, if I'm holding false. It's going to stop my vibration from being able to sustain. Now, I'm a real stubborn guy, a lot better than I used to be. In order to break that pattern, it's called hitting bottom. It happens in every facet of life. So in order to shift my beliefs and build my trust in the higher power, in order for me to see it, live it, be present with it, I had to be shaken to my core. I had to be thrown straight, and my element is fire. Other people who are different elements will have stark different experiences, but the impurities had to be burned off. The false beliefs, the lying, don't do it anymore. It's too much weight. Even my thoughts, I have to watch my thoughts like a cat outside a mouse hole. My thoughts are part of my vibration. I take ownership and accountability for all that I am. I take ownership and accountability for my world. That, in order to get there for most of us, involves a rite of passage, death to the ego.
I will, to your point, never forget these words. This is 2006, where things had changed in my world. I could have, knowing now what I know, I could have navigated through that so much better. But that's perfect. That's the way it was supposed to be. But
that's how you learned.
Somebody intuitive told me, when you're at your lowest point, you are the most humble. And I never forgot those words. And I think it even plays into what you just said. Like, you're there to receive now. You know, you've been stripped. Some of that outer useless coating and it got burned off, if you want to go with the fire analogy. Lots to unpack here. This is just a piece of what you do as a healer, a coach, hypnotherapist, acupuncturist. You run deep. You really do, in a great way.
It's so funny. I wanted to talk about the winner effect and accountability today, because I hold myself accountable. My standard is based on the founding fathers, who were like 20 years old when they wrote the Constitution. We have so watered it down, and we didn't even go near that. And that's what I love.
You know, it's funny you should say that. I started researching a lot of the players in the Constitution a while back, like Jefferson, and on and on and on and on. Fascinating. What's the best way to connect with you?
It's scarsdalehealth@gmail.com. That's my acupuncture website. And level3coaching.com, spelled out.
I'm going to also throw in there instantfeedbacksteve@gmail.com. If you got a question, comment about what we're talking about today, bring it on. Anything. No judgment. Keep it anonymous if you want. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for today, Chris.
Hey, thanks, Steve. It's been awesome.
Likewise. And I'll send you the pictures after Saturday, taking the leap. Looking forward to it.
Yes.
All right. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hi, this is Terry Crews, actor, former football player, game show host, father of 5, and all-around big dude. I'm also an expert on drama. I know all kinds of drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids. There's the bad kind like season-ending injuries. There's the necessary kind like having an agent in Hollywood. And there's silly drama like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your high school diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org.
Or text diploma to 97779. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. That's diploma to 97779. And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.